communication. You all are free to ask any doubts and questions regarding the concepts being cleared in the comment box. We shall have a complete and thorough question and answer format period at the end of the webinar, because usually some of the questions asked prior are answered in the due course of the webinar. So if any questions, any queries, put them down in the comment section. Feel free to have a conversation there. The Unfiltered team is constantly monitoring the comment section. Also, for those who are interested in participating or registering for our tomorrow's webinar, which is just as valuable as today's, it's the rest, sleep, recovery, and rejuvenation webinar. I'm sure Mr. Praveen Kumar will cover the basics and an intro about it towards the end of today's webinar. I can see Aditya has joined in. Aditya, if you can hear me, just show a thumbs up in the comment section. Okay, I request Mr. Praveen Kumar to take over from here. Welcome, sir, and I leave the room to you.
Thank you, Bhagesh.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhagesh. Thank you, Unfiltered team. Welcome, all of you. Welcome, participants here in the session on Breathcoins. Okay, so basically, we will be talking about the importance of breathe today, right? So before usually we go ahead with the sessions, we start with some kind of exercise, right? So basically it is related, our topic is related with, breathing, right? So we will do some kind of yogic pranayams and all, right? So just a minute, please wait. Yeah. So to start with this breathing pranayam, what we have to do is that we have to sit very comfortably and easily, and then we have to keep our spine straight, right? And then we have to please keep our eyes closed and take a long deep breath in. Long deep breath in, which means that the breathing has to be longer and it has to be deeper and very easy kind of breathe, and then let it go. Again, a second breathe in, long deep breathe in, and breathe out, right? So now next what we will do, there is what we usually do is a Bhastrika kind of pranayam. So I will tell you the steps first, right? And then we will go ahead with this. Okay. So Bhagesh, I think most of the people have joined, right? Bhagesh?
We're still not clear, sir. We are actually, the room has changed,
Yeah.
but nevertheless, we'll get into the crux of the topic eventually. So I think it's appropriate for you to start with the exercises. That's like a
Right.
warm up for the
Right.
session.
Because people are still joining, and I need to admit, and in between, like, it is kind of disturbance. Okay, anyways. So now what we will do, like, we have to close our fist like this, okay, and keep your hands like this, and it should touch your elbow should touch the side of your body like this. Okay, so both the sides, and then we have to raise our hands. Okay, raise our hands, and then we have to breathe in, right? And while bringing it down, you have to breathe out. Okay, so this is a kind of exercise which we have to do, right? So let's start, and I will give you the counting. Like, counting is like this is a one repetition. Okay, so once you are bringing the arms down, this is called one repetition, right? So all of us, let's start with this breathing, this pranayam. Okay. So this is very effective pranayam in order to energize ourselves, right? So let's start this. Okay, with a focus and concentration. Let's start. One, 20 times we have to do. Two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So how's the feel now after doing this pranayam? This is the basic pranayam with which we start this session, right? So how's the feel? Some of you can comment here in the chat box, and so to understand, like, how did you feel after doing this? Yeah, Alistair is saying that yeah, it's refreshing, right? Okay. So basically, our today's session is on this breathe coins. Okay, so breathing. So before we go ahead, I again welcome all of you to be here and giving a chance for me to share my this knowledge with you, right? So I will be discussing about the breathe coins today. And before that, before we go ahead, I would like to just introduce myself a bit. Okay, so I'm a marathoner. I'm an ultra marathoner. So as Bhagesh has already mentioned earlier, like I have done more than 150 marathons. Okay, so these are the medals which are visible here, right? And there are a lot many trophies also. Side to it, like I have done Ironman, so I'm a Ironman triathlete. So Ironman, like in our Ironman session, we had discussed about this Ironman competition. So this comprises of 3.9 kilometer of sea swimming, right? And then we have 180 kilometer of cycling and 42.5 195 kilometer of running. Okay, so this is how it is. Sure, we'll do that unfiltered. Okay, so this is all about this Ironman triathlon, and then I've done, as Bhagesh has mentioned, this is the T-shirt of Devil Circuit. So Devil Circuit is a kind of obstacle event, okay, obstacle race, wherein we have to finish at least 15 to 20 military level obstacles, different kind of obstacles, right? And in a distance of 5 kilometer. Okay, so this is all about this athletic performance. Aside to it, like I have run 24 hours marathon, 24 hours stadium run, right? So we have to start running at 5 o'clock in the morning, in the evening, and then next day 5 o'clock in evening the run has to finish, right? And we have to encircle a stadium, Mumbai Stadium. Okay, and millions women used to participate into that, and it was a privilege for me to participate alongside, right? So aside to it, like I have done 12 hours Mumbai ultra run, and the highest mileage which I could achieve as of now is during one Western Ghat ultra, that is 100 milers. 100 milers means 161 kilometers. So that is a called ultra. So any distance which is more than marathon distance, it is called ultra marathon. Okay, so for example, marathon is 42.195 kilometer. So if you are achieving anything beyond that, that is called ultra marathon, right? So I have participated into several this kind of ultra marathon runs. So as Bhagesh has also informed you, like I had participated into one prestigious marathon and one of the oldest marathon of the world. So that is called Comrades Marathon. Okay, so that is around 89 kilometers, and it is a town to town run. Okay, so we had to start the run from Durban, and we had to go to run through 5 hills, and we had to reach to Peter Marisburg. Okay, so this is a kind of one of the toughest challenge, because there were 5 hills, big hills. which we had to cross within a stipulated time. Okay, so it is not like just finishing the race, it is within the stipulated time you have to finish the race. So this is a nutshell about the my this thing, my athletic journey as of now. Okay, so now we will move towards this topic that is called breathe coins. So why this is breathe coins? Okay, so this is the basic idea which we want to discuss. So for that, I'll take you through this slide. So we will present this slide and take it forward, right? Yeah, sure. As of now, nobody is there in waiting room. Melville. Okay. Okay, so basically, this breathing is what we are going to discuss today, right? So, healthy breathe coins. This is the topic which we are going to discuss today. Okay, so we have heard already, like in our life, like recently, there is a very valuable concept that is called cryptocurrencies, right? So, cryptocurrency means what? That is a currency which is actually in a cryptic form. Okay, cryptic means encoded kind of form. So this is the reason like we call it cryptocurrency, right? So similarly, this breathe coins are also same kind of currencies. Okay, so these are the valuable currencies which are available with us, right? And that is automatic, like that is already available with us since the beginning of our life, right? So that is the reason like this breathing, we call it as a breathe coins, right? Because this is a kind of currency which we we earn and we expense it out, right? But how to earn and how to expense it out in a most efficient manner, this is what is a discovery. Okay, and this is what we will try to understand today, right? So this is the reason like we are going to discuss about it, right? So what is breathing? So some of you can answer this. What is breathing? Like how can you define it? How can you define it? Some of you can attempt and write in the chat box, right? So what do you think? Like what is breathing? So like sometimes like you can unmute yourself also, and we can make this session very interactive, right? And this is how it is. So let's start with this with the basic concept about breathing. Okay, so breathing is a is a kind of a when we start our journey on this earth, so we start it with a breathing only, right? And our life ends also with a breathing only, and in between our life story is there, right? So life is a kind of a story between one breath to another breath, right? So this is a kind of gift which is available since our birth, and it actually it goes away with our death, right? So this is how like breathing is important from start to end, right? So basically our life is nothing but a story. Okay, a story which is from the first breathe in and the last breathe out, right? This is how we can define our life also, right? So this is all about breathing. So everything starts with breathing and ends with breathing only. Okay, so every moment also there is a a life which is happening with to us, right? And it all depends on our breathing, like the way we currently I'm breathing. So it is all it is how we act and react to something, right? So this is the basic idea behind breathing, right? So now what we will try to understand why it is important, right? So for example, it is important for our yoga and pranayam. So like the way we have done right now, like we have done some pranayams. Okay, so pranayams means this is a, this is a function of our breathing only, right? So basically we engage our breathing and then we do some kind of, we modulate our breathing and then we do pranayams. So this is how it is. Yoga and pranayam, it is related, it is very important for our yogic postures and pranayams, right? Why it is important for yoga? Because in during yoga also, like whenever we are doing any kind of contraction, so what we do, we breathe out, and we do when we stretch out, then we release that breathing, right? So this is how it works for our yogic this stretches and yogic asanas, right? And the next is what we are going to talk about is refilling the sponge. Okay, so sponge, our body is kind of a sponge. Okay, sponge means like as long as like we are trying to refill it. Okay, so as long as we are able to do that, the sponge will remain filled, right? So which means what, like sometimes people breathe very shallow. Okay, so shallow means, so obviously we can think about a kind of balloon. So balloon, what happens, like we try to fill something. Okay, and when we inflate it by filling air, then only it looks like a good kind of inflated balloon, right? But the moment we deflate it, so it is like, it is not in a good shape, right? So similar is the condition with our body also. Okay, so if we are able to refill our system, our body system in a better manner, so this breathing is more or less like prana means life form. Okay, so the amount of life form which we can refill into our system, so it will work in a better manner, right? Our body will work accordingly in a better manner, right? It will remain in action, it will remain full of life. This is what we can say. And now we will talk about the weight balance. Okay, so how it is important to control weight. Okay, breathing, because we have in the previous seminars what we have done, that we have understood that we have two kind of energy forms. Okay, so first is we discussed about carbs and fat. Okay, so carbs are a slow, carbs are a fast kind of energy source. Okay, so and that is a kind of limited source of energy. Okay, so you cannot retain carbs for a longer period of time. But fat is a kind of energy which you can burn for a longer period of time. But fat burns in presence of oxygen, right? So the kind of breathing what you do, so accordingly your you will be able to burn more fat. And fat means if you are able to burn more fat, then what will happen, you will lose more of the weight, right? So this is the reason, like you can manage your weight also by doing proper kind of breathing workout. Okay, so accordingly, like it is also related with stress management. Any questions as of now? Meantime, in between, I will keep asking. Like if you have got any queries and all that, right? So that accordingly we will take it forward, right? Okay. So stress management, how this breathing helps to manage stress, right? So for example, whenever you are facing any kind of stress, so what happens? You start breathing heavily, right? So in that case what happens, like stress is accumulated more. Okay, then what you are advised for is to take a long, slow, long, deep breathing. Okay, so like this, and if you do like this and if you relax your muscles, so what will happen, you will your stress will be relieved, right? And then you can work better. Okay, and you can work smarter, right? So similarly, like there is this athletic performance. Obviously, like every athletic performance will depend on your proper kind of breathing, right? So because whenever you are running, so you may have experienced like when you are running, then as per the terrain, like if it is a inclination, then you have to start breathing hard, right? And if you are going down on a downhill, then you will feel that you can manage with a relaxed breathing, kind of breathing. So accordingly, like you have to modulate your breathing as per the requirement, as per the your athletic performance. For example, if you are doing any kind of a speed workout, right? So in the speed workout, what is happening, like you have to means it is a kind of explosive kind of workout which you have to do, right? So all of a sudden, like you require a big amount of big volume of breathing to help you to do that kind of workout. Okay. So so accordingly, like it all depends like which kind of workout you're doing, and accordingly, like you have to change your breathing pattern, right? So similarly, like this also can influence your sleep. Okay. So how sleep is sleep is related to breathing, because if you are able to breathe better, so your sleep will also be better, because it won't create any kind of disturbances, right, during the sleep time. Okay. Control on feelings and emotions, right? So for example, like all the feelings and emotions are also directly connected with your breathing only, right? So the moment, like any kind of actions are happening in outside environment, so accordingly, like your feeling and emotion will also change, right? So in order to control that, what is internally happening is like your breathing is also modulated accordingly, right? So in order to take a control, what you have to do is obviously you have to take a control on your breathing, right? And then if the breathing is right, then what will happen, you will be able to control your feelings and emotions much better, right? For example, in many circumstances wherein you feel kind of anger, okay, in your interactions, so what you are suggested for, you are suggested for a long, so slow deep breathe in, right? So when you are doing that, then what will happen, automatically that anger will dissipate, right? And you will be having a better control on your senses, right? So what kind of breathing which we should ideally follow? Okay, so something which is called as yogic breathing. Okay, so yogic breathing, what is that yogic breathing? So yogic breathing, like usually what we think of breathing is like inhaling like from nose and exhaling. That's it, like this way. But in yogic breathing, we actually do this kind of workout, okay, wherein like we have to place our hand like this. Okay, I will just show it to you. Yogic breathing is a three stage breathing, right? I'll just show. Okay, so you have to put your hands like this on your waist. Okay, so make a make a posture like this. Okay, and then in the yogic breathing, there are three stages. Okay, so first stage is like this. Okay, so is it visible, Bhagesh? I'll just show you.
Yes, sir, it is.
So this is the first posture. Okay, this is the first posture. Okay, and then what we have to do, we have to take a long deep breath in. Okay, and then hold it for a count of 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we have to exhale for a count of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For example, I will just show it to you. So this is something like 2, 3, 4. This is 2, 3, 4 count of inhalation, and then holding 2, 3, 4. Okay, hold it 2, 3, 4, and then exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, So this is the sequence what we have to follow. Okay, so what happens, our breathing becomes complete. Okay, second stage of the same breathing is like you have to keep your hands like this here in this position. Okay, and then you have to repeat the same thing again. Okay, so for example, we have to do 2 3 4 inhalation and hold 2 3 4 and exhale 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so you got that idea. So let's do this breathing once and understand how does it feel, right? So let's put our hands on our waistline, okay, and take a long deep breath in, and with a count of 2 3 4, 2 3 4, hold, 2 3 4, breathe out, 2 3 4 5 6, hold. And this is how we have to continue. Okay, continue doing the same thing. Okay, so this is a kind of this is called abdominal breathing as well, right? So wherein what we do, we engage our ab muscles. Okay, so basically what we are engaging our nasal, we are taking a long deep breath in through our nose. Okay, and then we are holding it for a count of 2 3 4, and then we are exhaling, right? So this is what we have to do it. Okay, and this is what we have to do for 8 times. Okay, so similarly, in the next stage, this is how we have to do it, right? So what will happen, like, in all this poses, what is happening, like our this posture is changing. Okay, and due to the change of the posture, our breathing becomes stronger. Okay, and then we can breathe better, right? So this is again what we have to do is like we have to take 2 3 4 count inhalation, 2 3 4, hold, 2 3 4, exhale, 2 3 4 5 6, hold, right? So similarly, third stage is like you have to keep your hands here on the back side. Okay, and keep your elbows straight and touching to your ear, and then you have to take a deep breath in, 2 3 4, hold, 2 3 4, and then breathe out, 2 3 4 5 6. So this actually this is what we have to do, at least 8 repetition of each, right? Okay, so if you do this, like breathing, usually what we think of breathing as like, just inhaling of air and then exhaling, but it is not like the same, right? So usually what we have to do is we have to complete this, right? So breathing cycle has to be completed. So breathing, what is happening basically is like when we breathe in, so oxygen is going inside, that is processed, and then as a this carbon dioxide is coming out through our nose, right? So this is basically happens. So we have to let this oxygen which is going inside to be processed properly. Okay, and there should be hunger for next supply of oxygen. Okay, so until and unless that is processed properly, we cannot actually create that kind of hunger for us, right? So basically we have to do that, and then only, like, then only we can allow for the next cycle to happen. Okay, so if we do that, then what will happen, like what will happen, like we will be able to process our this breathing properly, right? So basically in exercise science, whatever we are doing, we have to create a hunger. For example, if you want to sleep better, then we have to create a requirement for that kind of sleep. Okay, so how to create that requirement? Obviously by doing some kind of physical workout, right? Similarly for food also, what we are supposed to do, like we have to create a hunger for eating, right? So we cannot eat very often, right? So whenever there is a need, then only we can eat, right? Whenever there is a hunger, then only we can eat, right? So this is how about this yogic breathing. So yogic breathing is all obviously in three stages. This is what we have to follow in order to correct our breathing pattern. Okay, so next is nasal breathing. Okay, so how this nasal breathing is important, this is what the point of discussion now. Okay, so usually, like whenever we are under stress, or maybe you may have seen like people who are actually patient of asthma. Okay, so like what they do, like whenever they feel like they are unable to breathe, then they start open their mouth and they start breathing vigorously, right? So that is not actually correct. In such a circumstances there is a lack of oxygen, and that's the reason like they open up their mouth and then they start breathing. So basically what happens, like our nose is meant for breathing, okay, and our mouth is only meant for eating or drinking something, right? So this is the idea which we need to understand. Okay, so why nose is meant for breathing? Because with the nose we are processing the oxygen better, okay, because that air is filtered and then it is moistened as well. Okay, at the same time in these nasal cavities there is a nitric oxide which is present. Okay, so that is actually added with our breathing. Okay, and when it is going inside, then this nitric oxide actually helps to fight the kind of this viruses and then bacterias and all those these things, right? So basically it is strengthening our immune system as well. Okay, so that's the reason like it is very important to always breathe with our nose only, right? So like how efficient your breathing is, in order to understand that, we have something called bolt score. Okay, in the bolt score, what is done, like you have to take a normal deep breathe in like this. Okay, so some of you, if you want, you can actually switch on your cameras and start doing this bolt score, right, with me, right? So wherein what we have to do is like we have to take a long deep breath in and breathe out and then hold it. Okay, do not inhale, and hold it, right? And hold and count it. How many seconds you can hold. Okay, so if it is more than 30 seconds, then your breathing is proper, right? So you can do this exercise on your own, right? So what you have to do is, again I'm telling you, like you have to inhale. Okay, so you have to inhale first, normally inhale, and exhale, and then hold. Sorry, I could not do it properly because I'm talking also. So in this condition, like what you have to do, you have to keep your mouth shut. Okay, and then you have to do this practice. So last time I'm doing this practice. Okay, so let's focus and let's do it. So inhale, so you have to do it till the first definite desire of, breathing, right? So you have to hold this breathing, okay, and you will feel the kind of impact which it plays on your body system, right? So have you done, some of you have done this exercise? My video is pinned only, I think, yeah. So how did you feel like during this exercise? So basically, once again, I will repeat the last time. So what you have to do is that you have to inhale, right? Normal inhalation, right? And normal exhalation, right? And then you have to hold it, and hold it till the first desire of taking the breathe in, right? Definite desire means the kind of desire which is actually required, okay? And then you have to count it, okay? So how much can you actually hold it? So this is something called bolt score. So if your there is a definition, bolt score definition is there, so that I would like to share, right? Just a minute. Is my screen visible? My screen is visible? Yeah, this is visible. Take a small silent breathe in through your nose and allow a small silent breathe out through your nose. Hold your nose with your fingers to prevent air from entering your lungs. Okay. Then count the number of seconds until you feel the first definite desire to breathe. At the first definite desire to breathe, you may also feel the first uh, involuntary movement of your breathing muscles. Your abdomen may jerk and the area around your neck may contract. Release your neck, nose and breathe in through it. Your inhalation at the end of the breath should be calm. Okay. So this is, so what is happening, like, your bolt score is the length of the time in seconds that you are able to hold your breath until you feel the first physical signals to take a breathe. To increase your bolt score, it is necessary to nose breathe or at all times, including during physical exercise and sleep, right? So avoid taking large breaths while sighing, yawning, and talking, right? So basically you have to do this exercise on your own, and this is what is mentioned here, like, by incorporating the this exercise, uh, this your bolt score will remain within 20 seconds. So if something, a bolt score beyond 20 seconds is a good score, kind of a score, so you can actually check your scores, like, how better you are doing, okay, here, right? The ppt is visible, okay, sorry. Okay, just a minute, I will show it once again. Is it visible now? Some text is visible. Some of you can actually unmute yourself, because I cannot check, like, in the chat box what is happening, right? So is it visible?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah. So here, this is a bolt score, process of bolt score. The bolt score is nothing but body oxygen level test. Okay. So what is the amount of oxygen which is available in your body, right? So how to check that? Obviously, like, we have to breathe in first and then breathe out. So all the oxygen is out, right? And once the oxygen is out, then you have to hold it. And if you are holding for a longer period of time, that means the oxygen level is up to a mark, okay, up to a good mark, okay. So this is how we have to do it. Okay, so basically the process reads like: take a small silent breathe in through your nose and allow a small silent breathe out through your nose, right? Hold your nose with your fingers to prevent air from entering your lungs. So this is how you can also hold your nose, right? Count the number of seconds until you feel the first definite desire to breathe, right? So you have to count the numbers of seconds till the first definite desire to breathe. Okay. At the first definite desire to breathe in, you may also feel the first involuntary movement of your breathing muscles. Your abdomen may jerk and the area around your neck may contract. Release your neck and breathe in through it, right? Your inhalation at the end of the breath should be calm, right? So this is how, you have to measure, you have to assess your bolt score. Okay, why it is important? Because it is showing like how efficiently you can breathe actually, right? So this is how it works, right? You got it, Omkar? Yeah, right. So some of you can tell me like what is your bolt score. Once again we will do this exercise, okay? And let's understand like where do you stand, right? So let's do on our own, okay, and count it. And honesty is a key factor here, right? Okay, so let's do it. So I will tell you the steps once again. So you have to take a normal breathe in, breathe out. Sorry, once again, normal breathe in. Okay, something close to 30. Okay, so honesty is a key here. So you have to actually understood. I will share this in a document also. Okay, so I will share this process in a document form also. Okay, so basically what is happening, like once you exhale completely, then only you have to check like how much you can hold. Okay, so it is not like when you are inhaling and then you have to hold. Okay, so once you are inhaling, then it does not make any sense because you can last long. Okay, you can long last for 2 minutes also. Okay, so this is the idea. Okay, so first inhale, then exhale, then hold it by pinching your nose. Okay, and the moment you feel like you cannot sustain for longer period of time, then you have to inhale gently. Okay, again you have to inhale gently, right? So this is all about the bolt score. So bolt score is a, this is a kind of good score which tells how longer you can sustain, right, with only the air which you can actually keep inside your system, right? And then you are holding it, right, and you are utilizing it. Okay, so this is a taste for your breathing and oxygen utilization, right? So why this nasal breathing is important? Because this is a kind of abdominal breathing. Okay, so abdominal breathing. And see, there is another exercise what you can do. Like you have to keep your mouth closed. Okay, just a minute. You have to keep your mouth closed and put your fingers near your lower ribs. Okay, okay, and keep your mouth closed. Okay, and then you have to inhale, 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 and exhale. With inhale, what should happen? Like your this this lower ribs will inflate. Okay, and when you exhale, then what will happen? It will come. It will go inside. Okay, it will go inside, right? So, for example, I will tell you how does it look like. So like here you have to place your hands, okay, and then when you will inhale through your nose, see, this is inflated now, okay, and when you exhale, okay, so you can just check like whether it is working for you or not. So this is something called abdominal breathing. Okay, so that is a full kind of breathing, which is a must for good kind of breathing. So can you just, some of you can try and let me know like whether it is working in this manner or not. Are you able to do this kind of abdominal breathing or not? So you can just try. Yeah, Dheeraj, Omkar, Johan, did you try this abdominal breathing? Did you try? Please reply so that like I feel like I'm making sense, right? Yeah. So how did you feel, Dheeraj? How did you feel? So I will give you another workout for this. Okay. So wherein what you have to do is like you have to inhale for a count of uh, 2, 3, 4, and then you have to exhale, then you have to hold, and then you have to exhale, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so exhalation has to be for a longer period of time, right? And inhalation has to be a shorter period of time. Okay, so let's start this. Okay, so place your hands on your lower this ribs. Okay, and then you have to inhale. Okay, 2, 3, 4, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, all of you can start it doing. Okay, I have given you a demo, right? So you can start it now. Okay, so on the count of 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. In. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold. So did you feel your abs are moving like when you are inhaling, then it is moving out, right? And when you are exhaling, then it is moving in, right? How is the experience about it? How is the experience for this? So quickly, please respond quickly so that I can move forward, right? And we have to discuss many other things, right? Yeah. So whether Dheeraj, can you unmute yourself and say like whether your this ab muscles are moving?
Yes, sir.
How did you feel? Like whether it is moving? Like
Yes.
what is happening with you? Yeah.
Sorry, sir.
What has happened actually?
Sir, it's like refreshing, man, sir.
Sorry.
Sir, it's like a refreshing.
Yeah, refreshing. That's correct. But what happened? Like I'm asking, like what happened when you inhaled? So what happened?
The stomach will be grow and go inside.
Oh, yeah. The stomach was going inside or outside while inhaling?
Inside, sir.
Inside. Okay. So this is actually something which is wrong. So what should happen? Like the way we fill air inside a balloon. So what happens? Like the balloon inflates, right? So
Yes, sir.
similarly, your stomach has to inflate. Okay, so inflation means it has to come outside, right? So this is something called abdominal breathing. Okay, so like usually what has happened? Like we are usually breathing through mouth, right? So unknowingly, like we are not focusing on these things, right? So that is the reason like this happens. Like so, ideally, what should happen? Like when we breathe in, then the stomach has to come outside, okay, and then when we breathe out, then it has to go inside, right? So this is how it should work. So basically, this is the exercise which tells you like what kind of breathing you are taking and how valuable it is or it is not, right? So something like that, right? So why nasal breathing is important is because in nasal cavities you will find that it is getting filtered due to this. You find several kind of air kind of formation. This hair kind of formation is there, right? So that hairy structure is there, which is actually trying to filter out. Okay, so whatever if the air is not pure, so it is getting filtered out. At the same time, what is happening, this air is moistened by this our in our nasal cavities. Okay, and then what is happening like we are not over breathing. Okay, sometimes you may have felt that when you yawn and then what happens, like you over breathe. Over breathing means what? Like the amount of oxygen which is not required and you take excess of it, right? So that is also not proper. Okay, so when you yawn and when you do sigh a lot, and that point of time like you start taking longer bouts of breathing, so that is not appropriate. So what is required is nasal breathing. Okay, so, and the third technique is obviously awareness, right? So we will come on to this nasal breathing once again, how you can actually re-engage this nasal breathing, because over a period of time we did not focus like how to breathe. Okay, that's the reason like we have started breathing through our mouth also, right? So then we have to switch over again to nasal breathing. Okay, so now awareness, how awareness is also important, because see, when we remain aware all the time for our breathing, then only we will be able to take a control of it. Okay, so otherwise what will happen, we will just think that this with breathing is an automatic process, so this is happening, okay, automatically happening. But at the same time, if we just keep a focus, keep a tab, like how we should take a breathe, okay, so that it is utilized at the max in our system. Okay, so that we feel refreshed all the time. Okay, and the amount of oxygen which our body is looking for, that is available with us, right, at the right time and the right moment. Okay, why it is important? Because it is keeping your complete system in a order, right? So this is the reason like awareness is important. For example, if someone is shouting on you, so obvious response is like obvious response is like you will also shout back, right? And you may feel angry, right? But at the same time, what is happening with your breathing, like you start taking erratic kind of breathing. So you start breathing hard. Okay, and sometimes you open your mouth also. Okay, so what happens, that is not a proper kind of breathing to control the situation, control your anger, right? So in order to control, what you have to do is that you have to focus on your breathing, right? And then you have to start taking a long deep breath in, right, in place of any kind of erratic breathing. So at that moment what we have to do is like you have to focus on your breathing. So it has to be long, slow and deep breath in. If you breathe like this, if you do this exercise right away, then you will feel that you're you are relieved. Okay, and your stress has gone, right? These are the things which are happening with you, right? Okay. Okay, so now what are the actions which you are going to take for breathing improvement? So that is very important. So for example, usually like you are by habit you may have started some of us may have started breathing through our mouth. But basically what we understood, like our mouth is not meant for breathing, it is meant for only for eating and for drinking, right? So this and maybe for talking also, right? But basically, when we see right now when I'm talking, and then I'm unknowingly I'm breathing in and breathing out also, so what is happening, my mouth becomes dry, right? So usually what is happening, my the moisture which should be there inside, okay, so that is that is coming out, okay, and that's the reason like my mouth is dry, okay. So but if we close our mouth, okay, and we focus on our nasal breathing, so what will happen, our this essential moisture won't uh, come out, okay. And that way we can protect our moist this thing moist air inside. And the moist air you may have felt like when you go to any hill station, what do you feel like? You feel refreshed, because what? Because there is a enough moisture in the air, and when you inhale then you feel refreshed. So just imagine, like if you are doing the same thing during normal course of time also, then also you will feel relaxed, right? So in order to do that, what are the things you have to do is that tapping, okay. So obviously like we have to close your mouth, okay. Close your mouth, tape your mouth, and then obviously like in normal daytime you cannot do that because you have to talk, you have to eat, you drink, right? So night time what you can do, when you go to bed, then you can tape your mouth, okay, so that what is happening, your this breathing will automatically redirected, right, towards nose, right? And then you will start to focus on nasal breathing, right? So this is very important. So initially when you do that, then what you will realize that it is very difficult to manage that, because yeah, people have become habitual, this mouth breather, right. So that's the reason like it becomes difficult to breathe through nose only, right? So but once you start doing it, then what will happen, you will automatically feel that your breathing has got redirected, and you start breathing through your nose only, right? And first day like you will feel it very difficult, okay. But early in the morning when I did it first time, then what I realized that I could not sleep well, okay, because even I was a mouth breather, okay. But early in the morning you will find that your mouth is full of saliva, okay. And saliva is very important for your digestion, right? So your breathing what are the benefits which are happening with that? So I will just show it to you. So for example, I've shared it in link also, right? Last time in the WhatsApp group, okay. Oh, it will take time. So so what is happening, in this case when you tape your mouth, so what will happen, like early in the morning you will find that your mouth is full of saliva, okay. Otherwise like if you have not taped, then you will feel that your mouth is dry, right? So that essential kind of moisture which is going in, so out which is vanishing due to your this mouth breathing, you can prevent that, right? So this is the reason like this taping is important to reorient your breathing, right? Any question on taping? So obviously taping has a procedure, so that I have shared in the WhatsApp group, okay. So and that has to be done through this something called 3M micro pore tape, okay. That is a clinical tape, okay, so that you can purchase, and then you can tape it, and then you will realize that so what will happen, your moisture this breathing pattern will get changed automatically, and once it is changed, then what will happen, So automatically you will start breathing better, and you will feel better, right? And over a period of time, due to the correct kind of breathing, and what will happen, you will start losing your weight also, because the kind of breathing which is required, because we have already discussed, like fat burns in the presence of good amount of oxygen, right? So if you start burning, if you start inhaling good oxygen, so obviously you will start burning more fat, right? Body fat. And this is how you can reduce your body fat as well. At the same time, your as we discussed, like when you inhale through nose, so what is happening, like this nitric oxide starts mixing with the air, right? And that is actually very helpful to strengthen our immune system, right? So your immunity will be strengthened. So what are the benefits of this nasal breathing? Once again, I will just point it out. So first is that it is a complete kind of breathing. Okay, so these are the points which I would like to reiterate. So complete kind of breathing, and then nitric oxide is mixed with the breathing. So that is helping you to fight any kind of bacteria, virus, or even this current coronavirus and all that, right? So at the same time, what is happening, filtration of air is also happening. Okay, so any kind of dirt particle is there in the air, then that is also filtered out through this nasal breathing. And then air is moistened. Okay, so you do not need to drink more water. Okay, because air is moistened, and moist air is going inside, and that can work wonders for your body, right? And you are not supposed to over breathe. Okay, so over breathing means if your breathing is proper, so anything which is excess, what we understand is not proper, right? So you need to just balance it out, and then it will work better, right? So this is what you can do in order to improve your this thing, breathing, right? Any questions as of now? Any questions? Any kind of questions as of now? Okay, so first we discussed about taping. So similarly, like in normal day-to-day life also, you have to utilize much of this nasal breathing. Okay, so you have to breathe mostly through your nose only, right? So consciously, like you have to start breathing with your nose only. Okay, so for example, I have done another kind of taste wherein I taped my mouth. Okay, so I taped my mouth, and then I ran, right? So I did a 10-kilometer running without inhaling through mouth. Okay, so this is the way, like again you can actually redirect your breathing, and reorient it. Okay, so in order to maximize the important breathing in order to maximize the benefit of breathing, right? So this is basically whatever I'm talking about is basically about this nasal breathing only. So first we taped it in night time while sleeping, and second, what I did is that while running I taped my mouth. Okay, so in order to reorient that breathing pattern, right? Then obviously third thing is that in normal day-to-day life also, if you start having a focused approach on your breathing, so what will happen, you can actually reorient your breathing. Okay, and with this reorientation, obviously your breathing will be improved. Okay, and most of the time, like you may have felt that all this diseases are related to your breathing only, right? So for example, nowadays we are into this COVID scenario, right? And wherein we are afraid of this coronavirus, right? So coronavirus is just a virus, right? And similarly, like there are millions of viruses which are already there in environment, but our body is able to, our body's immune system is already strong, so that's the reason we are able to fight that. But how it is, how our body's immune system is strong, because we are breathing, and our breathing is strong enough to work on and work and fight on against on the all the viruses, right? So now the thing is that even if we want to fight with this coronavirus approach, and we have to use the mask, right, all the time. So already we are advised to keep our mouth, nose, everything closed, right? But breathing is important. So at the most, what you can do, like you can keep your mouth closed and keep your nose open, and then you have to focus on your breathing. Okay, so in the current scenario also, this is very important to keep your mouth closed, and then you can focus on your nasal breathing, right? And nasal breathing means what? This is a complete kind of breathing. When we do this, this mouth breathing, so what will happen? See, when we do mouth breathing, so this portion is not moving. Okay, our abdominal muscles are not moving. So basically our chest is coming out and in, right? So this is what is happening. So basically this is not a proper kind of breathing, because our lungs are located here near abs, right? Abdominals, right? So basically lungs has to expand, and how it will expand? Only through nasal breathing. So you may have experienced this. So you can exercise with this technique once again, and then you will realize it, right? And then while doing any kind of workout, like for example, if you're running, then what you have to do, you will experience that when you are taking inhalation for 4 steps, and then you exhale for 4 steps. So this is also going to change your running or walking pattern, right? And that will improve your running or walking, right? Why? Because you are taking enough amount of oxygen which is required for your workouts, right? So these are the 4 action points which you can actually apply in your life, right? In general, like for example, taping while sleeping first, then run with nasal breathing. Okay, so run with nasal breathing, or maybe while doing any kind of a workout or activities, you can engage much of this nasal breathing only, right? And then obviously there should be a focused approach, like whenever in during any activity, whatever you are doing, so you have to remain aware about your breathing. So you remain aware, like uh, uh, how efficiently you are breathing, right? So this way, like also you can have a focused approach, and then you can engage this nasal breathing, right? And while doing any kind of a normal exercise or running or something like that, what you can do, like whenever you are taking 4 steps, okay, so inhale and then take 4 steps. Okay, 4 steps. So the inhalation has to be such that, like you are able to cover up 4 steps. Then exhalation should be such that you are able to again cover up 4 steps. So for one inhalation and for one exhalation, you can cover up 8 steps, right? So this is how it is. So we will talk about this benefits of nasal breathing. Okay, so basically what we understood, that this is a abdominal breathing, right? So abdominal breathing means what? This is a complete breathing. Okay, so this is a complete breathing means this is a kind of breathing which is required for our body, and our body is taking maximum utilization of the oxygen which we are providing it to, right? And this is the reason, like it is a complete breathing. So like for example, what we have understood just now, what we discussed, like when we close your nose at that, take a breathe in like this with mouth, and then you will feel that only your chest is expanding. Okay, and chest is expanding means the air is filled in chest. So there is no such place in the chest wherein you can feel air. So air can only be filled in your lungs, right, and your stomach, right? So this is how you can utilize the air oxygen at the most, right? Then we have nitric oxide in pathways. Okay, so for example, this nitric oxide, sorry, it is nitrogen oxygen oxide written, but it is actually nitric oxide, right? So with the nitric oxide, what is happening when it is mixed with the air? So it is creating a strong immune system for our body, right? So that is naturally means this immune system is developed in a natural form through our breathing only, right? So this is actually what is there, right? Only thing is that what we have to do is re-engage our breathing, okay, in order to remain immune to in order to strengthen our immunity and remain immune to any kind of attack from viruses and all that, right? Then obviously filtration of air. So the our nasal system is such that like there are multiple hairy kind of a structure is there, right? So that is actually trying to filter out the air properly, right? And this is the reason like this nasal breathing is very important, right? And then it also moistens our air, right? So whenever you may have felt that when you are running and you are running hard, then obviously you will open up your mouth, right? And then your mouth becomes dry, right? So in order to avoid that, what is prescribed that you can do nasal breathing initially. Okay. So when you do that nasal breathing, so you won't lose this moisture which is available in your body, right? So that's the reason like it is very important to do this nasal breathing only, right? And then this is no over breathing. Breathing means whatever the breathing which you are taking but you are not able to utilize. For example, when you yawn, then you open your mouth, right, like this, and this breathing is not going to be utilized because this is going inside here only in the chest, right? And that is not going to be utilized, right? So this is something which is wrong. So what at that point of time, if you engage more of this nasal breathing, so obviously you won't be able to do this over breathing, right? So, in nutshell, before going for the last this thing, last slide, I would like to know, like, if you have any questions or queries as of now. Any questions? Okay. Unfiltered team, any questions from anyone? Bhagesh is there? No, left.
No questions as of now.
Okay. So, in the rebooting process, what we are looking for is obviously to re-engage our breathing. Okay. So, how to re-engage our breathing? So, first of all, we need to understand where do we stand, first of all, like whether what is our bolt score. Okay. So, we need to calculate the bolt score, and I will share you the documentation on bolt score. So first of all, we have to understand like if it is below 20, bolt score is not below 20, then only like then we should focus on nasal breathing. And what are the steps for nasal breathing? Obviously, like we discussed, like we have to remain focused, and then we may start using this micro pore tapes which I talked about, okay, during sleep time, like you can use this. So these are the action point what I'm talking about now. Okay, so bolt score is the first action point, and the second point is obviously like during the sleep, like you can um, tape your mouth, okay, and figure out whether you can manage through nasal breathing. So, and the third step is obviously doing this kind of pranayams which we discussed just now, taking a breathe in for 3 4 5 count, and then exhale 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so this is a kind of breathing pattern, and this is a kind of workout what you can do for yourself. And then we have obviously aware, remain aware about your breathing pattern, right? So breathing pattern, remain aware about your breathing pattern means what? Like you have to focus, like whether you are unknowingly start taking any breathing through nose or mouth. Okay, so obviously you have to focus on your nasal breathing. So at the same time, like you need to remain aware about, you know, your feelings and emotions, because the feelings and emotions are also going to affect your breathing, right? So that factor also you need to take care. And you can actually alter your feelings and emotions also through your nasal breathing, right? So the moment like you feel agitated or you feel stressed out or you feel angry, and this all actually is, you know, somehow affecting your breathing, right? So if you are able to take a control on your breathing, so you can actually uh, take a control on your feelings and emotions also, right? So this is how it is. So similarly, the last point is obviously like you keep working out on it and remain aware about it. This is how it is. Yeah. Any questions as of now? Chinmay?
No.
Okay. So what are the key, some of you can write what are the key takeaways from the session, right? What did you understand, like, in the session? Chinmay, Dheeraj, Onkar, Prashant, Johan, what are the key takeaways through this session, right? Yeah, correct. So what are the actions you are going to take, Onkar, in future? You can unmute and we can talk. Onkar, you're there? So, Onkar, what I wanted to know, like how you're going to improve your breathing style. You can unmute yourself and we can talk about. Melville, can we close the session now or what? There are no queries, I think.
Uh, yes, we can close the session. Before closing down, I will thank everyone for attending. And
Yeah,
thank you, Praveen sir, for providing great knowledge. Even I learned a lot today. So hope everyone had a good time and learned a lot.
yeah,
Tomorrow, as usual, we'll be having a seminar on sleep, rest,
yeah,
recovery, and rejuvenation at 4 p.m. If
right.
anyone has not registered yet, kindly
Yeah,
reach out to the admins of the group and we will help you to register.
yeah,
And not to wait longer, for the next month, we'll be having more 3 sessions. On 23rd will be the free webinar. On 29th and 30th will be the paid webinars. And the details will be provided in the WhatsApp groups. Stay tuned for all the updates. And one last thing, if you all have enjoyed the session as truly as we have done, and if you all feel there's any improvements we could do, kindly uh, fill the feedback form in the groups, and the certificates and the PDF for the combo pack holders will be given in about a week's time. So thank
yeah,
you for all your participation. Hope you all have a good time.
yeah. Thanks, Melville. So at the same time, what I wanted to say, like if you have any queries or any questions, so you can write in our WhatsApp group, right? Or you can directly approach to me also, right? So at the same time, what I'm looking forward is you people should actually focus on your breathing patterns, right? And engage better kind of breathing, so that in general also you can benefit for your health, right? And at the same time you can protect yourself during this challenging time, right? During this COVID scenario, right? So like you can have a strong immunity system only through your breathing, if you change your breathing pattern, right? So this is how it is. So at the same time I would like to share those documents which I promised just now. So I will share the bolt score and how to assess that. And honesty is a key factor, okay? So whenever you're doing any kind of scoring, so you have to follow the steps properly and you have to remain honest while judging yourself, right? And then only you can start understanding like what are the areas wherein you can work, right? Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
sir.
everyone. Thank
Thank
you,
you, sir.
computer team. Yeah. So you may leave.
वो लास्ट में मैं बात किया, अब तेरे को मालूम चला अभी कंक्लूजन के टाइम क्या बात की? Thanks for everyone coming, and certificate and PDF will be provided. मेरा नाम नहीं, वो अनफिल्टर्ड था ना। हम लोग को वो सर्टिफिकेट ताबड़तोड़ दिया। कौन? किसने? अरे मिलेगा, सर्टिफिकेट मिलेगा कल का सेशन भी है ना। Hello. Hello. Hi. You feel like killing me? Yeah or yeah? Mm, how are you? You're fine. You what you painted so much so far? Hello. 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 You can hear me? Hello. Hello. जो शूज है ना तो सॉल्ट वाटर लगा समझा जल्दी खराब होने का चांस है अच्छे से उसको पेंट पानी में धो और सुखाने पड़ा और साइकिल पे मारा तो कपड़ा You want should I put for you also? Yours is in the